Anyway, here's the statement from Amnesty International. Amnesty International USA extends its greetings to the people of Boston on the occasion of this first public celebration in honor of the patron saint of both Ireland and Boston, to be held on the Boston Common. As we stand united with you in a common desire for peace in the world, we in Amnesty International have worked for the past 26 years to stop violations of human rights in virtually every country. We demand the release of all those imprisoned for the non-violent expression of their beliefs. We demand fair trials for all political prisoners. We call on all governments to stop torture and executions. In the news this week alone, there have been numerous reports of government abuses. Troops have killed non-violent demonstrators in Panama. The governments of Florida and Louisiana executed 2 men, one of whom may have been innocent of the crime. In South Africa, the Sharpeville Six stand sentenced to die for murders they were not directly responsible for. Hungarian opposition members were arrested in morning raids. The killing in the West Bank continues. In the name of national security, British police killed 3 unarmed IRA members, disregarding the law. Amnesty International has long been concerned about the inadequacy of investigations into fatal shootings by security forces in Northern Ireland. It is clear that members of the security forces have shot people dead in numerous circumstances that gave rise to allegations that these killings were planned. We continue to be concerned about judicial procedures and allegations of ill treatment of prisoners. Cases of alleged terrorism are heard without a jury. Uncorroborated evidence from alleged former accomplices can form the sole basis of evidence against an individual. Former detainees have provided testimony that they were hit, kicked, and threatened with violence against themselves and their families. Strip searches of women prisoners have been carried out with the deliberate intention of humiliating or degrading the prisoners. All governments must be equally accountable for such abuses. The role of Amnesty International is not to advocate changes in any system or government, or the withdrawal of an occupying government. We will, however, unflinchingly hold any government in power responsible for protecting the people it rules. Amnesty International activists around the world are committed to stopping abuses of human rights in Northern Ireland and wherever else they occur. One man stands out among Amnesty activists as a tireless defender of human rights for all. Sean McBride was a founding member and leading figure in Amnesty International for many years. A man who saw the execution of his own father and brother. He brought a passion for justice to concrete action, to help those who cannot help themselves. Sean McBride believed that one hopeful feature of the present period of world history is that public opinion is now becoming more powerful. He asserted that we must use the force of public opinion to register our resistance to the brutality and arbitrariness which disgraces this era of human history. Sean McBride will remain an inspiration to all of us who fight the brutality of governments. He will be sorely missed. Sean McBride's struggle continues. The fight for human rights will not end until all governments guarantee to each man, woman, and child of the world their inalienable rights. Thank you. That's from Amnesty International. More than ever, as I want to say lastly, it's extremely important to continue to reach out to the Protestant community in the north of Ireland who are not involved in hatred. The war that goes on there is not a war between Catholic people and Protestant people. It's a war conducted by a few very greedy little men that want to keep things exactly as they are and not share. And the Protestant community is held hostage by these little men, such as Ian Paisley, who's a member of Parliament in England, but yet can call Catholics satanic. But it should be remembered that all the people here in New England should try to help reach those people and ask them to come forward and rid themselves of this handful of people who are not really Christians in any way. We have to remember that it's prejudice and the oppression of prejudice that drives members of the Catholic community to take up arms. They're victims of this tremendous pressure of prejudice. That's what the virus is. We have formed a new committee called the New England Committee. And we're going to be taking our time with several people, a lot of people, actually, and drafting a letter to the Queen of England, asking her to become the most famous queen England has ever known by coming out in support of a final, complete peace treaty between the English and the Irish people. We think that that is the only way today. Anything less should not be tolerated. We know that this probably won't come to fruition for a while, but we do believe that this direction should be pressed. We should begin to press for this. Thank you very much.
Jim Mahoney from Senator Joe Kennedy's office, Senator Franny Doris from Revere, Father Davidian from the Armenian community in Watertown, Father Jack Kowalski from the Polish community, Father Phil LaPlante, and Mel King gave an utterly fantastic talk. And the letters that Tom just shared with you from the monks, those holy people who live a cloistered life, and Amnesty International. There's always a woman behind the throne, and Tom Kidd was the real organizer for this, but he had the support of his wife Sharon, and we haven't even mentioned her. So we want to thank Sharon too for all.